What's up, y'all? It's Loco, and today we're going to be talking about why Sasuke is not dead, contrary to what a lot of people have been saying recently. I think those ideas are silly, to say the least, and I'm going to be debunking each and every one of them in this video. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the newest chapter of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex is out, right? The Boruto time skip is happening as we speak, right? So basically, Code came back to Konoha with his whole army of like Jubi monsters, right? And Boruto just showed up, and the chapter was peak. I love it, right? It's on fire, right? It's great. We're seeing a lot of cool stuff. I've got a lot of cool theories going on. If you haven't read it yet, I suggest you read it right now, so you're not spoiled or anything like that. I don't want to be the one to ruin it for you. But basically, the first thing that we see is Boruto just straight staring down Code, right? And he's not afraid of him. He actually threatens his life several times throughout the chapter. He's talking big game, you know what I'm saying? And if you watched my last chapter review of chapter 1 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, I had already mentioned how I thought Boruto was a Jigen level character by now, because in the previous chapter, he just fucking perception blitzed Code and put his boot to his face, right? And now, Boruto in this chapter is threatening his life and saying that Code would be like easy for him to, he's saying that he could no diff Code at any moment if Code doesn't comply and leave Konoha, right? And it's actually insane because we have confirmation in this chapter that Boruto was the one to actually damage Code and leave a scar over his eye, right? So we know for a fact that Boruto, 2 years prior to this time skip, was the one that slashed Code and he lost his eye as a result from it, right? So this is basically confirmation to me that Boruto is like this above Jigen level character. He solos all of Shippuden, right? We already know the scaling behind Jigen. I don't want to hear none of that bullshit down in the comments, all right? I just think it's actually crazy that Boruto has come this far over the time skip, right? Of course, I'm sure most of y'all have already seen that panel from the very end of the chapter where Boruto's about to pull out his new Rasengan, right? I believe it's called the Rasengan Vortex or the Rasengan Uzuhiki. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but I'm really hyped for next chapter. I'm not going to be able to wait a month for it. I'm just shaking with excitement right now. But anyways, a few more theories that I have are that the new monsters were shown to have like renegons, right? And obviously, we know that the Jubi from Shippuden had its Rene Sharingan, so I'm actually not too sure why these little Jubi monsters developed their own Renegon. Because back in Shippuden, when the Jubi divided itself up and created its own Jubi monsters, they're not like Codes at all, right? They didn't have Renegon. So I'm actually quite confused as to why Codes have now developed Renegon. Is it because they now possess like Otsutsuki Chakra? Since basically, Code is technically in the same vein as Boruto and Kawaki. He has the Karma mark, and he's basically an Otsutsuki as well, right? So is it because his Otsutsuki chakra that he gave to all of them is now the reason why they have these Renegons? Who knows, right? But it'd actually be pretty crazy if we see that they can like use the actual Renegon powers, like the Diva Path and the Preta Path and so on and so forth. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but we know for a fact that the ones with Renegons are stronger than the normal ones. So maybe Code has like enhanced some of them more than others. I'm not too sure about that, but I really can't wait to see what becomes from the other like little Jubi monsters. Oh, by the way, I've seen a lot of people addressing the artwork in this chapter. They're saying that this chapter had mediocre artwork and it wasn't all that great. For once, I actually have to agree with the Boruto haters. I know this is a first for me. I actually do like Boruto, and I feel like the pre-time skip chapters had really great art. But recently, it's just been kind of strange. Like in the first chapter, it was Boruto's arm that seemed too long. In this one, it just looked like very plain. Right? A lot of people are criticizing Boruto because it's a monthly manga, yet there's not nearly as much work going into the art as like a weekly manga is. So honestly, I do wish that they were putting more effort into this, into the drawing and the artwork. It doesn't bother me all that much, but it does seem kind of plain. There's not a lot of shading going in, right? Let me know what you guys think about it. Did the art really bother you guys all that much? But real quick, I'd like to ask you guys to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It'll really help me out because the algorithm has kind of been playing games with me recently. I haven't been appreciating that. But anyways, let's get into the biggest part of this video, what you guys all came here for. Sasuke is not dead. I've seen this take going around way too much on Twitter and on YouTube. A lot of people are just going around claiming that, oh, just because we haven't seen Sasuke must mean he's dead. It's that like seeing is believing shit. Like it's not as simple as that. It's like characters that haven't appeared since Shippuden aren't dead, right? That would make no sense. Like technically, we haven't seen Kakashi in the entire Boruto manga. Kakashi has never showed up once in the manga, so that must mean he's dead, right? By that logic is just so dumb, right? So I just can't see why people are just out here claiming that Sasuke has just died or disappeared out of nowhere. Also, a lot of people have been claiming Boruto is kind of avoiding Sarada, like he's not trying to look her in the eyes. He doesn't even turn around or really acknowledge her all that much in this chapter, which is kind of strange to me. I don't have an explanation for that. It's weird that he's talking to Sarada in this way, right? You would think that he'd at least turn around and look at her, you know? It seems like he's just avoiding her, like I said earlier. But that might just be that he's more focused on Code or Kawaki than anything else, right? It may not mean anything in the long run. Also, to back this up, like on a meta type scale, I found a scan from early Naruto that reads off that it's a dialogue box from Kishimoto himself. It's like a snippet from after the chapter, right? And it reads off that Sasuke is quickly becoming my favorite character in the series. So basically, Sasuke is Kishimoto's favorite character, and while this may not directly prove that he's not dead, it would definitely make more sense that Kishimoto wouldn't off-screen his favorite character in the verse, right? This was all the way back in early Naruto that Kishimoto had favored Sasuke over the rest of his characters, which is actually pretty insane to me, right? So it's just more supporting evidence that Sasuke isn't really dead, right? Also, Sasuke is the main character, right? Technically, he's not Naruto or Boruto. The show isn't named Sasuke. But let's face it, Sasuke, besides Naruto, is the main character of the show. Or at least up until Boruto, of course, right? Why would any mangaka or any screenwriter, literally anybody, a director, a filmmaker, anybody, right? Why would they off-screen not only their favorite character, but their main character? It makes absolutely no sense to me why people would even consider this to be a possibility. Like, within the story, it's kind of cool to theorize on, oh, Sasuke might be dead, right? You know, like, but if you actually look at it from an outside perspective, it makes zero sense for Sasuke to actually be dead. Like, why would the main character be off-screened? Right? And like, we don't even see what happened to him. This has never happened to anyone in the story except for maybe like Tobirama. Like, Tobirama is the only one that really got off screen. He got kind of beat up by Madara, and we don't really know what happened to him, but at least we saw them fight for a brief period of time. I'm pretty sure no actual main character or villain has been off-screened entirely. We don't know what happened to them at all, and it's just like a dialogue box saying, oh, so-and-so is dead, right? We're never gonna see them again, right? That just makes no sense to me at all. And like, I don't even understand how people are propagating this. It's really a theory that isn't backed up by anything other than pure speculation, right? It doesn't make sense within the bounds of the story or even outside of it, right? Why would they kill off Sasuke? It makes no sense. Maybe this is just my own bias speaking, right? If you guys know me by now, Sasuke is in my top 3 favorite characters in the entire series, and let me give you a hint. He's not number 2 or number 3, right? So basically, if Kishimoto actually went through and off-screened Sasuke, his favorite character, my favorite character, and the main character of the show, honestly, I might just have to drop Boruto. From a writing perspective, it makes no sense, and it's not even good motivator for Boruto to like develop and gain his abilities, because by now you would think he would actually want to kill Code if Code was the sole reason for Sasuke dying. Let's say Code was the one that murked Sasuke, right? Sasuke is nerfed now. He's not as strong as he was with his Rinnegan, and Code is like this Jigen level threat, so obviously he'd be able to beat up Sasuke pretty easily, right? And let's say Code was the one that killed him. There's really nobody else in the Shinobi world that could actually kill Sasuke. He's stronger than 99% of the verse except for these top tiers, right? So it would have to have been Code, right? And Boruto is out here saying like, oh, if you leave Konoha, I'll let you live. Like, lead me to the 10 Tails and I won't kick your ass, right? And like, you would think that if Code actually was the one that killed Sasuke, because he's the only one that can, Boruto would want to murk him on sight, and that's just not the case. Boruto's kind of showboating, right? He's putting his boot on Code's face. He's humiliating his Jubi monster army, right? It doesn't seem like Boruto has crazy bloodthirsty intent towards Code, as you would expect that he would if he killed his master and quite possibly his best friend, you know? So it makes no sense to me. I don't understand why people are saying this. It's not backed up by anything in the story. Like, I really hope that Kishimoto didn't kill off Sasuke, not specifically because he's my favorite character, but because from a writing perspective, it's just so bad that it would be terrible. Like, the series would be absolute dog shit if they off-screened their main character. I'm sure this issue will come to light in the next coming chapters, but for now, I guess I'll just have to endure with all the weirdos on Twitter saying that Sasuke is dead, so I'll just have to be the one debunking them all. I'll solo all of these people on YouTube and Twitter, right? But if y'all enjoyed this video, be sure to gently tap that like button. Like I said earlier, it helps me out. I need points for the algorithm, right? I need to take it on. Also, we're close to 2K. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to be doing these chapter reviews every month, as well as a more high effort video as well. I got a really cool one coming out soon, so be sure to turn on those notifications so you don't miss it, right? Join the Discord server. This is where we be having all of our fun, talking to each other on a daily basis. It's me and a bunch of other content creators in there. The link is going to be in the description. And other than that, I'm going to catch y'all later. Peace!